Mackey here with the latest episode of the One Idjit's Thoughts On podcast on day 6 of the Dog Days of Podcasting Challenge. You can hear all of the participants in the challenge by listening to the mega feed. Check into it at dogdaysofpodcasting.com. Ken, I think I've only heard about you by reputation, this being my 3rd year of participation and listening to all the participants. I have a bit of a curling connection. Last year during the challenge, I watched the Men with Brooms sitcom from Canada, and after that, I'd have to say, stick with the original movie. Also, my son Fox was on a curling team the last 2 years, so I've watched lots of live, in-person curling as well. Unfortunately, the team was all graduating high school seniors, and while Fox is staying in town, the rest of his team are off to Minneapolis. I've considered participating myself, and I have a coworker who has idly spoken about a team at our station, but I'm not sure if anything will come of that. Speaking of teams, last night was trivia night at Duluth Cider, as I mentioned yesterday. This time we placed second, 1.5 points off of first place. And today was not an ordinary day at work. I was on camera for 4 segments pitching. You know, if you value this programming, consider becoming a member right now, etc. Fox is on the floor crew at the station now, so he was the floor director, helping us know which camera to look at next and counting back in from pre-recorded material. He even adjusted my tie for me, which I doubt he typically does for most people on set. Okay, so now let's look at Gravity Falls Season 1, Episode 18, Land Before Swine, originally aired June 28th, 2013. A brief summary. A terrifying monster stalks the skies of Gravity Falls. Dipper and Suze try to get a photo. Just as Dipper triumphantly sees the image developing in the tray, Suze comes in and ruins the developing picture. Not long after, Stan is pig-sitting for Mabel when he puts Waddles outside and the pig is stolen by the creature, a pterodactyl. Stan lies to Mabel about how Waddles was taken, telling the tale of punching the beast in the face while trying to free Waddles. They decide to mount a rescue mission, but Dipper worries that Suze will only mess things up. Waddles' sweater unraveled as the pterodactyl took him, so a strand of yarn could potentially be followed all the way to Waddles. The yarn leads them to an abandoned church, and Old Man McGucket tells them that below them is an abandoned mine. Inside the mine, they find dozens of dinosaurs trapped in amber. The heat of the summer is melting the sap, and that allowed the pterodactyl to escape. Stan sees ways to profit, perhaps as a theme park, and offhandedly says he's grateful he put Waddles outside. Mabel overhears and realizes the whole story Stan told of Waddles' abduction was a lie. They are led via yarn to a series of mine openings, but Suze winds the yarn into a ball without thinking, and then breaks their lantern. Mabel hears Waddles squeal in the distance, and runs to him as the others follow. The pterodactyl returns, and Waddles panics, jumping and landing on Stan. They both fall into the pit below. Everyone else is in the pterodactyl's nest, and a baby hatches from the egg, eating McGucket. Suze has the idea to stand all in a line, thus becoming potentially invisible to the baby, with its wide-set eyes. Stan tries to use Waddles as bait to divert attention for his escape, but he thinks about Mabel and realizes Waddles has meaning to Mabel, and Mabel is important to Stan. He decides to fight back, and the pterodactyl soars past the nest, while Stan pummels it with his fists. They all escape by riding a geyser. McGucket is revealed to have escaped by eating through the baby pterodactyl. The very cartoonish moment for this time happens to be Old Man McGucket eating his way out of a baby pterodactyl. And my favorite line...
Ladies and gentlemen, continuing our mystery tour, you'll see the world-famous Outhouse of Mystery. I got stuck in there once.
Could I go to the bathroom?
Save all questions until after the tour.
Who is? Justin Roiland appears in this episode as product pitchman Bobby Renzabi. He is notable as having created and voiced Rick and Morty. Now let's look at recurring voice actor Kevin Michael Richardson playing Sheriff Blubbs. Kevin was born in 1964 in the Bronx. He started out his career performing in commercials, and was frequently also a voiceover for commercials. Early on, he performed a variety of live action and voice roles, though arguably in smaller roles on camera. He appeared in single episodes of Herman's Head, Dream On, and Mad About You, and a 3-episode run on ER. Then, in 1995, he launched in earnest into a voice acting career playing the voice of Goro in the Mortal Kombat movie. Through the 90s, he had a few more on-screen appearances, but far more voice roles. All told, he has over 600 acting IMDb credits. He's appeared in many primetime network TV animated shows like The PJs, Family Guy, American Dad, The Cleveland Show, The Simpsons, and Futurama. So what worked in this episode? It's another solid episode, and I hope that Chekhov's dinosaurs go off in the third act of the series. What didn't work? I'm finding less to dislike in this series as I begin to realize the development of the characters and setting over this first season. Plus, Disney values the ability to run episodes out of order following the initial release schedule, so I can see that being a factor as well. Next time is Gravity Falls Season 1, Episode 19, Dreamscaperers. Happy hunting! You've been listening to the One Idjit's Thoughts On podcast, produced by Paul Mackey in association with Nimlas Studios. Any short clips of audio from shows is included under fair use for commentary purposes, and copyright for that content remains with its original copyright holders. The theme song is Too Good by Jack Mangan and is used by his generous permission. One Idjit's Thoughts is produced under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 4.0 international license. You can find more episodes of this podcast and many other fine podcasts at nimlas.org. You can contact me by emailing idjitcastpodcast@gmail.com or commenting on episodes at nimlas.org. Hey kids, never climb into a geyser.